Yeah, you welcome to part 2 of the project we started yesterday. The project we started earlier on. So today we are going to be able to know what next. Now, we were at a point where we had already done we had already done the application where we had started the applications, created these applications, the project, yeah, and we had just registered or added the application that had been created now on these install apps, such that, yeah, these three: products, sales, and users. So now the next thing, we said that we are going to pick up from now the models. Yeah, so let's now explore each of these applications one by one. Yeah, we have products, we have sales, we have users. And then this one now has the project contents here, the main project. So whereby we are registering these applications here. Yeah. Now let's start with products. Let's go to models, models.py file. So here, you're being informed that create your models here. So here is where you're going to add your models. So these models are found in the Django database. So the first thing that we need to do, we import the Django database for us to be able to use now the Django models here and now be able to create here. So we here, because this is a short project, I'll only need this one. It's already done for us. So now this place where you're being informed to create your models. Now you use now the knowledge of object-oriented programming in Python to create these models one by one. So let me start the product models. So I'd like us to create a model for category, so that, remember when we were introducing the project, we talked of the category of the products here, and then we'll talk about the suppliers or the supplier model, and then now the exact products. So that will form the three models we're going to create here inside the product models file. So this is what we're going to say class, create an object called category here. Now this category is a model. It's actually part of the models. And this remember small models, these small models is now part of, now from this, we need to attach the model. Remember these models, we've imported them here so that we can simply use them here. So we are fetching model from these models. And after fetching, or rather informing this file that you're creating a model, this forms a model. Now you need to give what now this model entails. What do we have inside this model, or rather the fields? So for the category model, let's say the following. We can have name here, and this name is a part of the models here. And other models, there are several types of the objects under models. And now a name we need to understand what type of object is a name. And for names, we can have strings, or even in some cases, we can have even the numbers or so. So instead of space using string or integers or what, we simply use character field. Yeah, so that if a name, something has been labeled in terms of numbers or integers, can still be accommodated. When it's in form of a word, can still be also accommodated. So this one will say it's part of models. And now this part of model, the type of this object is character field. Yeah, so this means that from these models, we are attaching character field. From this model, we are attaching model. Here, and now we need to simply specify maybe how many characters can we have. Yes, you can leave it as it is so that it can accommodate any number of characters. But suppose you like to specify the maximum length. Yeah, the maximum length. What are you going to do? So simply need to specify maximum length. We'll have that max length there. And then maybe one can use 110. Yeah, so remember the characters in this case include the spaces, all the symbols, the commas, the letters, the numbers, the spaces, yeah, everything. So we do not expect to have so many models past 110 characters. So we can use 110. Yeah. Now this category, the name of that category, we can also have the description of that category. Here, we can have description. So we can create another object, maybe, and call it description. Here. And now this description is part of the models and specifically a text field. Because if you're describing, for example, you're describing data or you're describing someone, simply you're using words. Maybe these, like in this case, is a product or a category of product. You can tell someone these products have got these features, these and these features, and this now the benefit is the advantages of using these products. These are why they've been categorized here, and so on. So we prefer using text field. And text field, at times, maybe we do not have the exact description of this product. So if you leave it as it is, it means that it has to be filled here. And what if you do not have anything to fill inside this description, or rather you do not have the right description? What can you do? So you need to set this field to also accept any blanks, or rather simply meaning that you can set this description field to be optional, so that any person who leaves it blank can still be able to get the right uh, output. Yeah, so to do that, we'll simply say, inside this, we'll simply say blank equals to true. Yeah, that's what you will do to handle that. So you can add as many objects inside this category as possible. But let's demonstrate with these two for a start. And now we need to know what will be the output. Now, for example, what's the return from this? So in that case, we need to define the return. So you can say you define, remember this is double underscore, and then you can use this where you're having self. Okay, let me do everything. Yeah. Then you have self. So self simply means it's like you're referring back to what you've created. It's like a parameter. Yeah. For example, uh, those who have some knowledge in data science or statistics know that you use a parameter to refer to a population, just like you use a statistic to refer back to a sample. Yeah. So this self is like a parameter of the object, or rather for this category output object that we need here. So let's write and say we are referring to this parameter, and now the output should be the name. So other than using category, attaching the name, we simply use self and then we attach the name here. Remember, the reason is this one acts like a parameter. Actually, it's a parameter referring back to this category or variable here. So that's done. Let's create another thing. Let's create another class and call it supplier. So class, say supplier. Remember, this is capital. Okay, in most cases, these categories or these models, in most cases, we do use at least the sentence case or the first letter being capital. Doesn't mean that uh, this lowercase may not work, but okay, for you to be safe for Django, simply adopt that, because in some cases the lowercase means something else. Like here, this one means a class, yeah, and then lowercase fully means a variable inside this class. Yeah, so we need to get the difference. So in some cases, if you use everything of the same format, they may be interpreted to be of the same class, or rather of the same kind. So we need to know, to get to know the difference between how we can represent a class and also a variable inside that class. Yeah. So just the same way here, we register a model. So this is part of models. And now here we attach the model. And then we go ahead. What do you need here? We can have name. So I'll say this is a character field as well. Then I can give the maximum length. You can say maximum length is maybe 170 characters. I will also add a font, maybe, yeah, this is a supplier. You need to know the name of this supplier and his or her contact details. So we can say phone, the phone number. So this part of the models. Phone could be also a character field. So I'll use character field. And then I can say maximum length, maybe it's 20. So the length of characters. Then we can also have email. Yeah. So email is part of the models. And then we have email field. We know the validation of email, so it has to have the symbol at and so on. So once we use email field, it will ensure that that validation is applied. Yeah. So maybe this person doesn't have an email address. So we will need also to ensure that we handle them. So we can say blank equals to true. So that in case this person lacks an email address, they can still use phone and name to get services here or to provide. Then similarly, we'll still have to define return here. So this is double underscore as said earlier. Yeah, so I'll simply use this and change here. Return, I say self name. So the name is the most important bit here. Yeah. Another thing, another model that we can create here is product. So we can say class product. So this product also registering as a model. And then under product under the product, we can have the category of this product. No, I'll use lowercase category. Yeah, because the other one means it's a class. So this category. So I'll use foreign key. Why? Because remember we'll be having categories here. So we'll only need to select. So it's like you have a drop down button here where you simply click and you select. We'll be having these products registered inside every category, or they will have different categories of products. And then as we add a product, we select the category of it. We will see how it will become when we'll be handling the backend bit of it. Not the backend, the admin part. So this one will make it foreign key. And then this foreign key is being gotten from category. Yeah, this one. And then also we can delete. So we can say something like on delete. We say these models can be cascaded. Here. So that's it. And you can see what cascade means. So it's like if you like to learn more about it. Yeah, so simply cascading is like you can, the way you can undo something. Yeah, for example, if the certain category is deleted, it's like you've undone what you had already chosen or what you had already done. So if you have a category that has been wrongly selected or wrongly done, it can be deleted also or changed. So that will allow you do that. Also, I can have supplier. the same way, this supplier, I'm going to get him or her from here. So I'm also going to treat it as a foreign key. Yeah. And similarly, this foreign key is being gotten from supplier, this one here. And then on delete, you can set this field to null. So you can say on delete, this model or this field will be set to null. So I'll say set null. Yeah, and also, for example, if there is it's empty, it will still be accepted. So you can also say null equals to true. So if you delete the supplier and still can still have the product without supplier being included. The same here. And have a product without the category. Yeah. So that's about the foreign key. Now we can have now the product name here. So similarly, is a model. Okay, let me be consistent here. Add some space. Character field. And then can have maximum length. Maybe you can say 160. Yeah, this being a supermarket, we need also the product price. Now, the price also is a model, and we need, this can be a decimal field because we can have some cents, or rather, if it's a dollar, maybe it's 10.12, 10.70, and so on. Yeah. So that's it. We need to specify the number of decimal places and also the maximum digits that can be allowed. So of course, according to the product you're selling, the products, you're sure that the maximum amount that someone can pay maybe ranges to this amount. So you can set the maximum digits. So like I can say maximum digits is maybe 12 here. So I'm simply setting the maximum limit to 12. Then also I can say number of decimal places, where simply say decimal places is maybe 2. In most cases for money, it's 2. Now the quantity. Let's do also another one for quantity. We're going to register it as part of the models. Now the quantity, of course the quantity cannot be negative here. So I need to use positive, an integer, but positive here. So I'll simply use this positive integer field here. So I'll leave it empty so that someone can select, so that we do not set a minimum or a maximum for someone. So if someone needs 1,000 products, they still have them written there. Then we can also have the product expiry date. Yeah. You can say expiry date. Then it's a model. This a date field. And then, yeah, for example, if we do not have expiry date, we can accept null. So we can also say null equals to true. Yeah, so that can also be null. Also, we can ensure blank can be true. So that someone can set this field to null and also can leave it blank. Then maybe we can have the creation be created at the time of the creation of this maybe where this product was entered here. And this, we need to use the date time. Yeah. So date time field. And then other than setting manually, we can just allow the fields to auto set for that to be auto added. So I'll simply use auto add now, or rather auto now add. So that if I'm adding this product right now, it will use the current time instead of me writing it again. So I'll set this to be true. So this field I won't need to maybe add myself, rather add the time myself. Yeah, so that's it. Let's now define what can we expect as the output. Yeah, so I expect it to be defined by maybe the name also. Yeah, so I'll use these. Yeah, so that's about the models for the product. Yeah, but we can decide to make migrations and so on, but we are going to make it later. Yeah, because all these models have to be migrated so that all these fields can be included maybe to the main project, or the system can be well managed. So uh, you can make migrations if you wish, and if you don't like doing it earlier, you can do it later. So let me finish up with all the models first, or I can register this. So what I'm going to do, just finish up the product first. You can see I've created a model for, okay, let me just make migration first so that those who can do it earlier can still get that chance. So to make migration, I'm going to say Python manage.py make migrations. Here, then I'll enter. So it will show me this model as migrations. All these models or classes I've created. So let's give it some time, and we see what's with the output. Here, you can see we've seen something change here. So we have migrations for products. So the products simply the app here. So you can see there is the category, supplier, and product. So what we've just done. So after creating this migration, we need to migrate them. You can see the additional sub some folder here. Yeah, containing the models and all. The migrations also, there are some things. Yeah, so let's now migrate. You also say Python HPY migrate. Yeah, it will let you have that. Then you'll see this field being affected also. Yeah. So now remember these models has these fields. And these fields, yeah, simply expecting data. So that's why there is this database SQLite 3 being created here, because the system is already expecting data from these models. So if you run the system, run now, maybe register some data, that data will be stored here. Yeah, so that's a database for Django, like it's automatically created once you migrate. Yeah, later on, we be going to see how we can connect uh, also Django with database, different separate database through Python. So now we are going to register these models to our admin. So remember, we are still on products. So for the models for products, we are going to register them on admin.py for products, whereby here we have we've been initialized. We are simply importing admin here, and because we've created this product, before we use them, we need to also import them. We need to import all these categories created, the classes created as models. So also we're going to say from all models. So this simply means all, this full stop here. From all models, do what? Import. One, what did you create? It was category. Then another thing you created was supplier. Another thing we created was product. Here. You can see the now here, but if you look at it, if you compare the brightness, this one is kind of dull, even admin. The reason is it hasn't been used here. So we are going to use all this here. And once you use something, you will see it brightening. So on this admin site, we'll say admin sites, say admin.site. We're going to register. So once you use admin, you will see it has brightened here. It's now different from this. Now we are going to register all this. Going to register one category. And see now it brightens. Also, on this admin site, we're going to register what? Supplier. Need to register supplier. That's done. Also, from on this admin site, we are going to register what? We're going to register product. So that so actually we will be going to see, we are going to see all this under the app product. We will be seeing these objects and having all these fields that we've created here. Yeah, so we'll see, because we've registered them. We will see what we will have as the output. then ensure you saved it. Yeah, so that's all. Let's try now the sales model. So I'll leave this one here for now. Let's go to sales. The same thing we did here. So the models for sales, we have the import models. And then now, because whatever we are going to sell is what is actually what we are having in the products here. So what will we do in this case? We have this initialized. We need to import something. So we need to import the products, the model that we've created in the product, so that we can link with these cells. Yeah. How can we do that? Just simply say from product models, from products. Yeah, it's products. Good. Products, then model, product model. Do what? Import product. So it's like we are interlinking. Remember, these are separate application for sales, then the other one is for product. But because it is within the same project, we can link them in this case. So whereby we simply go for the product models. You can see here, when we were making migrations here, let me show you what was the output. Migration for products. Yeah, and then this file was created. Then we performed the migrations whereby we were running everything. You can see what was happening here, the username and everything, maximum length, every detail that we had added inside the models. So we're going to import product here. Because we need also maybe the user for authentication or so on, we can add, okay, it's not so much mandatory, but we can add, you can say from Django, contrib, attach the authentication, the auth. Then from these authentications, we are attaching the models also. Here. And now from here, you need to import the user. Remember, when you see this one, authentication, that means handles the users. Simply need to see who will be the user. Yeah. So that's it. So now on this model, we're going to create some class, like we can say cell. Yeah, because this is for cells. Let's start by cell. So this also part of the model under models. But now it can have the following fields. Now, if you just have to include this so that it understands what is needed. So maybe you have the cell cashier. Now this cashier actually is model, and it's part of foreign key because we are going to use the user. Actually, the user of that system is the cashier. Remember, for supermarkets, okay, I don't know if other countries do have, actually, I think most countries do have the queuing theory. They observe the queuing theory, whereby you pick a product and now you queue. And then there are different sections or other different zones where you're going to pay. So now all these people have got computers. And now each computer has got user details, username, and maybe the password here. So the person who will serve you now will be the user. In fact, if you look at the receipt, you'll have his or her name there, that who served you, then there is their names there. So now this what we are going to have in this case. So for this user, we are going to import their details from the user. So these ones, the user authentication, will be creating this. Yeah. Like, for example, here, we can decide to create super user. Okay, let's just create super user. I wanted us to create at last, but just for the sake of explaining this, let's see. Here, we can create just a super user who is the main admin here, whereby you simply say Python manage.py. What do you do? Say create super user here. Okay, let me leave it. Let me do it later. But just we'll be using this code. I know why, so that we can explain everything about the management of the admin site later on. Here. So this is what we will use to create a super user for us to manage these files, or rather this system here. So let me spare this code, rather this command, for some other time. So this foreign key will be gotten from the users. So the cacher will be the user of the system. Yeah. And then also someone can delete here. And then after you delete, of course, these models will be cascaded. Yeah. And then once you're paying, the moment you're paying, the cashier will need you to, okay, we'll need to add the total amount, the cost of all your product, total cost. So we can say total amount is also usable in this case. Yeah, and now this is also part of the models. These are decimal field. Okay, let me use decimal field. Decimal, like that. And I can say, I can have the maximum digits to be maybe 12. And then the decimal places to be 2. Yeah. Then maybe you can also say, add the date where this sale was done. So the date where maybe you made that purchase. So part of the models. And this more of date time. So some of the date time field, the date and the time. And then it will be added auto. So I'll say auto now add. Then set this to be true. Here. So that's my model for the cells. Let me add another one. Okay, I don't need to add the output. So here, because I'm already linked, I'm linking this to the products. Yeah, we'll see the output. So let me create another one for the sell item, the items that have been sold. So let me call it sell item. Here, sell item. This part of the models, the main model, now having the following fields inside it. I can have sell. We can, where this cell is simply a foreign key. Here, this will be obtained from here. Here. So this foreign key will be obtained from the cell here, up here. And then also we can allow the delete, let's say on delete, the models will be cascaded. Say models, yeah. And then also we can have the product that also will be gotten from foreign. So simply the item, this is the product. So also say models, then foreign key, where I'm obtaining this because I imported product, it will be simpler. So I'll simply say from product. Because I do not have that model within here, so I simply imported it from elsewhere. Here. And then here I can also say on delete, we can cascade models, cascade. Yeah. Another thing we can have is maybe the quantity. Okay, quantity will make it positive integer. I haven't imported the other one, so this one is independent. So I'll make it a positive integer field. And I'll leave it open so that one can have a chance to purchase. Or the items can be sold as many as possible. Then the price. Also, we can have it as a decimal field with maybe maximum, let's say maximum digits, maybe 12, and then decimal places as 2 for consistency. Yeah, so that's about our cells. Yeah, that's about our cells, not the models. So my part 2 will stop here, and then we'll be back for part 3, where now we'll be handling the remaining bit. We will be learning how to create the views and URLs of all this that we've added, and then we'll go ahead and create a super user here, and then we'll proceed to the front end bit. so that we'll be able to create the templates, what we expect also. Then we run the application. Yeah. So that's all. Just follow us as well. Stay tuned and do not forget to do the necessary here. Yeah. Also, you can reach us through the information available on our channel. You can email us, give suggestion, what can we do next? Yeah, you can give suggestion, what area can we do next as we proceed. Yeah, so see you next time. Bye bye.